Welcome back to our journey of turning this 1914 school into our house. Today, I want to show how we've been turning one of the creepiest rooms in the whole school into one of the greatest rooms in the whole school. I also just got this sign from Manhattan Neon, which is a little hint of what this room will become, which is our cocktail cellar. This sign, it just got me so excited to talk about this room because we're starting to get into some of the fun stuff about construction instead of just important structural things like concrete, brick. Love those things, but neon signs are a little bit more fun. And if you want to make a neon sign for yourself, I've got a code in the description that will give you 20% off too. So you might be like, what in the heck is a cocktail cellar and why do you need one? And the answer is you don't need anything, but making fun, weird stuff in your house is kind of the point of anything. Right now, it's going to be a place where we store and display all of the weird botanical apothecary ingredients, the spirits, the vermouths, the liqueurs that we've collected over the years. This room started so dark and creepy and full of bugs, and pretty sure there was a bat in here, and it just felt like this dungeon type speakeasy thing needed to be elevated into a special spot in the school. When we lived in New York, we were young and scrappy, and we didn't have much money to explore the height of the craft cocktail revival scene that was going on in the early 2010s. So instead, we started making drinks at home, and I took it to an extra level. I started a cocktail Instagram documenting all the drinks and the cocktail garden that I grew on our New York balcony, and also got to do some really fun stuff. I did a bunch of partnerships with spirit brands, and I got to travel around promoting LG's refrigerator that makes these craft ice rounds, which is actually the refrigerator that we just bought for the school. I also collected tons of weird ingredients that brands would send, or we'd collect from travels, or just visiting the unique shops around the city. When we bought the school, we thought this little room, it's the perfect place to make something special for all the cocktails. And we're trying to make all the cocktails for our friends and family and guests and have big parties, which again was one of the huge motivating decisions around buying something as ridiculous as a school. I'm going to mock up what the cocktail cellar might look like in a second, but first I want to show more of the progress of how we got this room to go from creepy to starting to look a little cool. Okay, so I'm gonna share a little bit of our plans for what we have for the cocktail cellar, but I also want to take a step back and talk a little bit about the history of this room before it became the creepiest room in the house. When our school was active, this room was called the engine room, and every time I talk about this, I get a ton of questions saying like, wait, what? Like, are you saying it wrong? Is it a boiler? No. It is an engine. From what we understood reading some of the history that we found, the engine, it moved the air and flowed water to the rest of the school. It's basically kind of like a rudimentary like forced air system in the schoolhouse. So somewhere in the school there was coal that was burned in one area, and then there were tons of these old ducts above from the room where the engine was, and then you could control the different ductwork and open and close the vents. And there used to be these like little chains that were hanging on the little metal parts here. So you better believe we are going to restore this panel once we are living in the school, but for right now we're leaving it as is, and we got a long list of other projects. So moving to our plans, I used Photoshop's new generative AI tools to make up these mock-ups. The first thing I did was I took out a lot of the construction stuff. Still got our little neon sign from Manhattan Neons here, and then I added in some shelves on the sides. Then I added in a floor mosaic. If you've watched some of my other videos, you might remember that I made a custom matte mosaic for 2 of the entrances of the school, and those are going to be installed really soon. Really excited about it. So I want to put in a mosaic on the entire floor of the cocktail cellar. I want to get the kids involved to help me do this. Sean thinks that it's way too ambitious, but hey, just sharing the long-term daydreams here. And then added in some artwork, and then some dusty old bottles of sherry over here. Added in a little chandelier as well. This is kind of the plan of what we're looking for. The final thing, and this is something that the AI is not good at, I was trying to mock up some gates to put in front of the cocktail cellar. I don't know if we'll end up doing this. Obviously the AI is not super good at making this stuff, but yeah, so these are our plans for the cocktail cellar so far, and now I want to go in and show you some of the other pretty big things that have been happening in the school. So let's go do that tour. Okay, so I'm here at the back entry, and one of the biggest changes this week is we have some floors. So Dave and Micah, oh my gosh, they have been really working hard this week installing all of these floors, and they are looking good. So we still have a few things to fix before they are able to stain and varnish them, but yeah, it changes the whole space, and it's, every step along the way, it's starting to feel more like an actual house. So yeah, in here, before I shared, we do have some of our fans, and the lights are up above, and our friend Chad has been installing all of the doors that I refinished last summer. So the other big thing, in preparing to get all of the paint, we had this primed, but we realized like how bad the paint really was. So we started scraping a lot of the plaster just to like get it down to where it wouldn't flake off. But here's another one of the doors in here. And yeah, just excited about this. And then there's one other thing where there's some really big updates. Obviously they haven't gotten to the floors in here, but Greg, the amazing tile guy who has just been here a ton fixing plaster and everything, we are starting to have some of our tile in our bathroom. So yeah, it's still got some of the protective coating on it from the packaging, but yeah, this shower will be this like dark green tile with some brass Schluter, and yeah, so it'll be like green. There'll be some green back here, a little green like wainscoting here. We've got these walnut the walnut vanity here. We've got the black and white tile that I showed before, and some of the original classroom plaster that we're going to be leaving. Maybe do a little special painting on the inside of where Greg repaired it. But yeah, so that's that bathroom. Got a pocket door here that we got from Madison Street Salvage here in Franklin. If you're looking for architectural salvage, it's a great place in the region. And then we'll go through here into the kids' hallway. Another door. Sean and I have actually been patching, and we're getting ready to sand all of the original trim that was still left. Had a ton of nail holes, had some splits, so just doing a lot of repairs, some caulking. Still have to sand this part, but a lot more work to be done on all of that trim as well. And the last thing I want to share is in the kids' hallway. Got another pocket door here. This was an original door to the school. Turn on the lights. And Greg finished the kids' tile. So here's what our floors are gonna look like. This is the kids' shower bath area. And then this weekend we're gonna install the vanity that we have for in here. And then we get some of our countertops installed. So this one will actually be the labradorite that we got from S&F Marble and Granite. So yeah, again, always, if you are in need of a good tile guy in Central Indiana, please DM me or send a comment and I will send you Greg's contact info. So that's it for right now. Stay tuned for more updates because we're just starting to get into the fun stuff. I mentioned the floors in this video from the folks at Guardian Flooring, and I also just got an old schoolhouse light from Madison Street Salvage here in Franklin. I am so excited to talk more about the light fixtures and some really special furniture that we just sourced from an old elementary school in Slovenia. Tons more to come as we slowly turn this old school into our house.